Welcome back, yogis, to day 2 of Get on Your Mat yoga series, an inspirational, uplifting, and motivational yoga series to help you live your best life and create a consistent practice. So let's begin today by rolling out your mat. If you have 2 yoga blocks, you're always welcome to have those with your practice. We'll start the practice today in child's pose, Balasana. And we'll also begin our practice today with an affirmation that you can say quietly to yourself out loud or internally. So take your knees nice and wide and bring your big toes to touch. Bring your hands in front of you and walk your hands out into child's pose. If your forehead doesn't touch the ground, then place the hands under the forehead like so. Otherwise, stretch your hands out. Close the eyes, rest the forehead on the earth, and take a few breaths out through the mouth to signal your practice is beginning. And rest the tongue on the roof of your mouth, and begin to breathe evenly in through your nose and out through your nose. Start to feel the breath filling your body. Feel new breath filling under your armpits and between the ribs, down into the low back and the belly. Soften your eyes, soften your mind. And the affirmation for our practice today is I am worthy of love, starting with myself. I am worthy of love, starting with myself. Get a little into the side body now and tiptoe your fingers over to the left side of your mat. Place the left hand on top of the right and push down and forwards. And lift your head and tiptoe your hands across the mat to the other side. You can come back to your affirmation anytime you feel your mind drifting off, or over and over again to really tune into the intention of your practice. I am worthy of love, starting with myself. You could even say, I am worthy of love and compassion, starting with myself. Come up onto your hands and knees, table position. Start with some cow and cat poses today. Inhale and exhale, tucking the toes under, getting some movement through the spine. I am worthy of love and compassion, starting with myself. And from here, we'll move into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift the sit bones. If you find this is too intense, then come down onto the hands and knees into child's pose once again. Let's pedal our legs down a little bit. So push through one heel and then the other, feeling any tightness in the calves and the backs of the legs, starting to release and let go. And walk our hands to the back of the mat now, bending the knees as much as you need to. A little bend in the knees, you can sway from one leg to the other. Bring the chin in a little bit, looking inwards. Feel the breath in the back side of the body, behind the knees and the calves, the hamstrings, the low back. Now focus as you bend both your knees. Lay the belly on top of the thighs, release the head and the neck, and feel the breath right between the shoulder blades on the back body as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, exhale and soften your belly. We'll roll up slowly. With the fingertips, just trace the shin bones, starting with your low back rounding to your middle back and all the way to the upper back. You can let the arms reach out and up as you breathe in. Bring the hands to the heart space. I am worthy of love and compassion, starting with myself. Inhale, arms reach out, external rotation, engaging the legs, rooting down, and bringing the hands to the heart space. One more time, inhaling. I am worthy of love and compassion, starting with myself, and exhaling. Now interlace the fingers, press the palms away, bend the knees, bring the chin to the chest, and round the upper back and the lower back. Take a few breaths here. Spread your toes, root through the feet, and reach all the way up to the sky. Take a little bit of a back bend. Imagine you have a little puddle of water in the palms of the hands, and you're spilling it back and behind. Start to open up your chest. And release the hands down by the sides. Let's take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Bring the heels of the hands together and press the elbows towards each other. The arm bones start to move back. You can start to reach the elbows upwards. Breathe and expand into the front side of the body. One more breath. And release the hands. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart space. Bring the feet together to touch. We'll move into tree pose. So press down into the right foot and bring the left foot onto the ankle or slightly below or above the knee. If you want to bring the foot a little higher, try to bring the foot up into your hand without leaning forwards. Now press the right inner thigh back. Soften when you feel the wobbles and ground down, creating a strong foundation to connect inwards, to open to love and compassion. Maybe open your arms outwards. Slow, steady breaths, letting you stay centered and at peace. Release the hands, release the leg. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Second side, tree pose. Right foot comes up. Find your balance on this side and start from where you are on this side of the body. Notice when you fall or you wobble, where you tense up. Perhaps that happens to you off of the mat in certain situations. Can you soften and let love rise from within? Feel the front and the back side of the heart space filling with new energy, prana, life force. Press your left inner thigh back. Take the arms down if you choose, maybe upwards. Press down and up, like the trees that surround me, rooting down into the earth. Let the hands come to the heart and bring the knee forwards and down. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll take our second side of Yoga Mudra. So as you bring your hands behind you, notice the way you predominantly bring the hands together. Now try it the opposite direction. Heels of the hands together, elbows towards each other, heads of the arm bones back. Take a nice big breath now. You can close your eyes. Connect deep inwards to your wisdom, to your love. Now you can keep the hands together and start to bend the knees and fold over the legs once again into Uttanasana and reach the knuckles up towards the ceiling or the sky and over the head towards the top of the mat. Take a couple of breaths. Release the hands down to the ground and return to downward facing dog. Maybe you take a wider stance this time. Now we'll start with Warrior two. So lift the left leg back and up. Step it forwards between your hands. Turn the back foot out. Line the front heel up with the middle of the back foot and reach the right arm back and the left arm forwards. We'll start to open up that left hip. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, engage the legs, gaze upwards if you can, and exhale, descend. Feel your front knee and push it out towards the pinky toe each time. We're trying to go a little deeper through the front leg, eventually finding 90 degrees. Inhaling, keep the back leg strong and steady, and exhaling. Let's stay here now for 3 breaths. Try to stretch the arms in both directions. Soften through the eyes. Feel your breath and draw the belly inwards. Now take your back hand and set it down on your back leg. Turn the front palm upwards. Reach up and over into reverse warrior. You can look down at your back foot. So you want to feel the front and the back side of the body fill with breath, along with the sides of the body. At the same time, pushing the front knee out and open. Noticing any emotions that come up, any doubts. I am worthy of love and compassion, starting with myself. Inhale back to warrior two, and exhale, take the hands all the way down to the ground. Spin onto the ball of the back foot and step back to your downward facing dog. Pedal your legs out once again, and then find stillness for 3 breaths. Can you find a new place to soften? Can you lift your ribs in and try to lengthen from the armpits to the hips? Let's go to the second leg. The right leg reaches back and up, and without throwing the leg forwards, try to bring it into the belly. Bring it as far forwards as you can safely. Turn the back foot out and rise up. Right arm forwards, left arm back. Stretch in both directions. Turn the palms to face up. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, descend. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Breathe in and breathe out. Strong back leg. Notice if the body becomes a little shaky. Let it go. Focus on your breath and the spaces in between. Let's look down at the back leg now. Place the back hand on the back thigh above or below the knee. Front hand turns upwards and reach up and over. You can always lower the back hand below the knee. Remember, you're side bending here for reverse warrior. Come back to center. Take a breath. No hurry at all. Release the hands down. You have your 30 minutes of practice. Press back to downward facing dog. Maybe you can start to feel some space in your hips, your shoulders, and your chest. From here, we'll come down onto our knees. Keep your hips over your knees and walk your hands forwards. Bring the forearms down onto the ground and the hands together, palms to touch. Bring only the fingertips to touch now and reach the fingers up towards the ceiling or the sky and bring the forehead down to the earth. Try to lengthen from the elbows to the armpits and from the armpits to the hips. Lift up a little bit and bring the forearms down onto the mat. You'll come all the way down onto your belly now. We're moving towards Sphinx pose. So the tops of the feet are down on the ground. The elbows are under the shoulders. Notice if you're sagging down. Try to push into the Elbows in the forearms and the hands, all fingers. Think of drawing your whole torso through the arms, sliding forwards. Feel your legs strong. Soften your eyes. Open the front side of the body. Close your eyes if you like. Repeat your affirmation. If you feel like you need to go a little further in Sphinx pose, you can start to lift the elbows off the ground, finding a straighter arm position. I am worthy of love and compassion, starting with myself. And exhale, return the elbows down to the ground and release the forehead onto the mat. You can stack the hands, turn the feet outwards, crocodile pose. Breathe out through the mouth now, 3 cycles. Now lift your head upwards. We're going to roll over onto our back side of the body. So just spin over. Bring your legs down in front of you. And from here you can come into a seated position. We'll bring the soles of the feet together into Baddha Konasana. So bring the left foot in and the right foot in for the bottoms of the feet to touch. Walk the sitting bones back behind you a little bit. Bring the hands to the ankles. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see a little better. Pull the flesh out from underneath. Bring the hands to the ankles. Try to pull the torso forwards like you did in Sphinx pose. Rest the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Have a couple of breaths here. And then relax. Bring the hands to the outsides of the knees. Bring the knees together. Purposely round your back for a moment. Bring the chin to the chest. And we'll move into Baddha Konasana one more time. This time, you can bring your hands like you're opening a book onto your feet. So open and peel the soles of the feet apart so only the pinky toe edges are touching. You can use your elbows. If your knees and your thighs are up, use your elbows to press into your thighs a little bit. From here, you feel this dual action. The feet are pressing towards each other, and the knees are reaching away along with the inner thighs, and the spine is lifting upwards. Let's take 3 breaths. All right, release. Bring the hands to the outside of the knees and the knees together once again. Chin to chest, round the back. Close the eyes for just a couple of breaths. You can turn to face the short edge of your mat if you aren't there already. Stretch your legs out in front. We'll come into seated staff pose now. So bring the hands next to the legs. Press down into the hands and round the back purposely so you can feel the opposite. Now engage your legs like you're pressing your feet forwards into a wall and start to press your inner thighs down, push into your hands as you lengthen the spine. 3 breaths. From here, we'll bring the right knee into the chest and cross the right foot over the left thigh. You can wrap the left arm around the thigh, cradle. Bring the right hand behind you, push down and forwards. Find that staff pose. Lengthen, engage your left leg, and on the exhalation, draw the navel in and start to twist a little bit to your right. Let the breath do the pose. Let the breath guide you deeper into the posture. So we're not cranking the spine around. And turn the opposite direction. Look down for just a moment. Take a breath and unwind. And as you breathe in, come back to center. And let's take the second leg. Exhale, cross the left leg over top of the right. Press the left foot down into the earth. Wrap the right arm around and cradle. You might stay right here. Press the right leg down. Push to the sit bones and upwards to the crown of the head. Maybe you go deeper by bringing the hand behind the back. Find your spine long. So we're hugging the knee inwards. Eventually we turn and twist, letting the breath take you there. Unwind, twist the opposite direction for one breath. And come back to center. Stretch the legs out in front of you. Bring your feet a little further forwards. Reach the arms out in front of you and see if you can lower one vertebrae at a time. So you start with the low back, the middle back. It's difficult not to just throw yourself backwards and all the way down on your back body. Rest for a breath. Breathe in and out. Now we'll bend both of our legs and cross the right leg on top of the left thigh so we make a figure 4 shape. Curl your right toes back. Bring your right hand onto your right thigh. We want to try to get the right knee right in line with the right ankle. And see how that feels. You might stay right here. You might be getting a nice opening through your hip. If you feel like you want to go a little further, only do so if your knee is in line with your ankle. And then start to lift your left foot off the ground, interlace the fingers beneath the hamstring, curl the left toes back, press the right ankle into the left thigh, and the left thigh into the right ankle. Can you feel breath, prana, into your heart space in the front and the back of the body? And then soften into the hip crease on the exhale. From here, set the left foot down on the ground, bring the palms to the mat, stretch the right leg up, and slowly lower the leg down. Oh, it feels so good. Like your leg just got longer. You know what? Go ahead and stretch your left leg out and just feel the difference for a moment. Feel how one leg feels longer than the other. Let's go to the second side. Bend the right leg, cross the left ankle on top of the right thigh. So if your knee is not at 90 degrees, just take your left hand onto the thigh and just gently, gently push it open. It's kind of like tree pose that we did earlier, standing. So the knee eventually opens in line with the ankle, so your hip is actually opening. It's finding that external rotation. Now maybe you start to lift the right leg, interlace the fingers under the hamstring, curl both toes back, try to press your arm bones down into the ground. And again, inhale into love and compassion. Soften into the hip crease. Any of those emotions that block you from opening to love and compassion. It happens to all of us. All right, release the right leg down and stretch the left leg up, palms down. Slowly let the leg go. And stretch the right leg out. Now we've done a lot of external rotation with the legs, so just bring the feet into a wide position, so wider than your hips. I like to go as wide as my mat, and we'll just do a little internal rotation with the left legs, also known as little windshield wiping movements. Just let it hold where your knees fall over to the right. So that way you get a little internal rotation of your left thigh. Can you soften any tightness that you feel into the low back and the side body? I love this as a restorative pose. You could put a pillow or a block underneath the thigh, underneath both thighs. Let's go to the second side. Knees come back to center, and you just rotate right onto the pinky toe and the big toe edge side. You get that internal rotation on your right thigh now, and you can take the foot a little wider. And just pause right here. And feel your belly expanding and descending. Remembering our breath is our instrument. Our breath will guide us to where we need to go. Let's come back to center. Out here, there's daddy long legs and butterflies and little ants and flies everywhere. All right. So if you want a longer Savasana, I'll link one here. Go ahead and stretch your legs out now. It's time for Savasana. If you'd like a longer one, I'll link one here. Otherwise, stretch your legs out nice and long. Remember, you can always put a bolster or a pillow under your knees. Tuck your shoulder blades under, palms face up. Please, please be sure you stay for Savasana. It's really the best part of the practice. Close your eyes. It's your time to rest. As your eyes close, breathe out through your mouth and let your legs and your arms relax. Then relax your head and your hips and your spine. Soften your eyes, the backs of your eyes, and relax your mind. And let your breath start to fade away. Find a focal point. Let your eyes rest into your heart. Maybe you feel a little warmth in your heart. Maybe you see an inner light. Maybe it's green or red. And say your affirmation to yourself. I am worthy of love and compassion, starting with myself. And let yourself be here for just a few more minutes until you hear my voice once again. Now, as you hear my voice, start to feel an inhale through the nose and an exhale. Begin to wiggle your fingers, move your feet a little. Let the movements be slow, awaken just very naturally with your breath. Remember, there's no hurry. Let yourself slow down as much as you can. Let your eyes stay closed. Reach the arms overhead. And you can roll onto your side. Give yourself a couple of breaths before you push up, remembering your purpose for practicing today. Let yourself rise up. You can find a nice, easy seat to finish your practice, maybe cross-legged. Bring your hands to your forehead and lift your head upwards. Thank you for joining the practice today. I wish you health and happiness. May this practice uplift you and motivate you and inspire you to live your best life. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Hey yogis, thanks for joining the 30 Days of Yoga series. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you are guaranteed to see each daily practice. And you can always head over to my Patreon account, which is linked down below in the description, where you can find ad-free content. Don't forget to like and share with a friend, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 3. Have a great day.